Have you ever been stressed or overwhelmed with trying to figure out how to create your own workout program or your own workout routine? Look, this is the frustration that many people have. But in today's episode, I want to simplify this for you. It's actually not that hard. And today I want to break it down so that you can learn how easy it is and how you can create it today. Let's go.
Let's go. You are incredible. Your body has a purpose. Your life has a purpose. You were designed to live the best life possible.
Mic check. Mic sound okay? Camera 1 good? Camera 2 good? All right, here we go.
What's going on? It's a brand new week and we are back. You are tuned in to listen. You're not defeated. And I'm your host, David Hernandez. The goal of each episode is to help you live a life of freedom through health in a simple, smart, and sustainable way. Before we jump into today's episode, I just want to invite you, if you haven't already subscribed, click the subscribe button to my YouTube channel and also click the little bell so you can get all the notifications of our up and coming episodes. And if you're listening to me on your favorite podcast station, click the follow button so you don't miss an episode. Every year, working out tends to be at the top of everyone's list. We look at gym memberships, they're skyrocketed. We look at the motivation and the excitement of people trying to release weight, build muscle, or just get healthier overall is at its highest. And that is great. I get happy. But the reality is that most people tend to fall off because they don't know how to be independent with their health. One of the things that I strive for is to teach people through this podcast, through my coaching, through my speaking engagements, through my corporate wellness education, that we need to learn to become independent with our health. That means learning how to take control of our nutrition, learning how to design and create our own workouts, our own exercise routines, learning how to take care of our cardiovascular, of our lungs, of our ability to just have more energy, breathe, and have a stronger body as a whole. And that goes for cardiovascular wise, meaning endurance wise, and also strength wise. So it's important that when we start to learn the principles, and one of those principles I want to share with you today, we start to become independent with our health. That means that we no longer have to rely on others to help us, have to rely on other professionals to tell us what to do. Look, as a personal trainer myself and been doing it for the past 15 years, look, I love helping people. However, a lot of people rely on everything that I teach them and they only depend on what I teach them. But what happens when I no longer am available? What happens when maybe you move to another state and I'm not around? Or what happens when I move out of the state? Or what just simply happens when life hits you and maybe you don't have the resources to continue to invest in a personal trainer? Well, you end up being lost because you've depended on me or us, the trainer, to guide you through your entire workout or exercise or life health journey. But what's more valuable is learning principles that will help you become independent so that you can now know what to do, so that you no longer have to rely on somebody to tell you what to do because you know how to take charge of your own health. And with that being said, exercise is a big struggle that many people have. And look, nowadays, it's a lot easier because if we look at 15, 20 years ago, we had to rely on people to tell us what to do. And there were magazines and there were different resources that really helped us. But now it is a lot easier because of different apps and different technology resources that are out there. But I want to give you the knowledge so that whether you have the apps or have the knowledge or not, you know what you're doing and why you're doing it. I think that's very important. Why we work out the way we work out, why we create these exercises, or how can I create and design exercises that are going to give me the best results based on what it is I'm actually looking to achieve or looking to obtain. And in today's episode, I'm going to keep it slightly general and very simple. I'm going to be specific, But I'm going to keep it very simple for you because I believe that there is a lot of power in simplicity. And for those that maybe want to gain more insight and want an advanced training on how to take your exercise to the next level, I will be creating a part 2 in the next couple of weeks to really break down more insight on how to really take control of your exercise. Look, it's important for us to learn how to create our own exercise program. And when I say program, it's really your exercise routine or design your exercise life. That's really the better word for it. Designing your own exercise life. And it really comes down to this truth. Every method of exercise works. Yeah, I said it. There's not one better than the other. Obviously, if you're looking to achieve a very specific goal, or trying to compete at a very specific event, then yeah, I would suggest some are better than others based on what the main focus is. But generally, when we're talking about just better health and maybe we're talking about losing or releasing some weight or burning some fat and getting toned and building muscle and getting stronger, most methods will work. And it really just comes down to this simplicity, to the simplicity of, what do you like? Seriously, I want you to take a moment to reflect on this question. What do you like to do? What type of exercises do you like? What things do you gravitate more to? What brings joy? What things excite you? Now, there will be some that say, David, nothing, because everything is boring. I don't like sweating. I don't like exercising. I don't like lifting heavy things. I don't like getting tired. Well, to those I say, I challenge you to confront that and ask yourself why. But more importantly, in spite of you not liking it, what if you did it anyway? Understanding the benefits that it brings to you, understanding the benefits and what you will gain from it. Look, there's a lot of things I don't like. There's moments where I don't like to work. But I understand the benefits that come with it. There's times where, look, I may not like to spend time with somebody in that moment because maybe I'm tired, because maybe I have other things that I'd like to do. But I understand the benefit or what that relationship means to me. Sometimes movies that I don't want to watch. But because I'm with somebody, maybe a family member, a friend, I understand the benefit and what that relationship means to me. So therefore, I'll say, so what? Let's do it. All exercise types work. And it's really about understanding, well, what do I like? Do I like working out in the gym? Do I like CrossFit? Do I like Olympic style lifting? Do I like powerlifting? Do I like regular traditional, what's known as maybe bodybuilder lifting? Do I like running? Do I like hiking? Do I like boxing? Do I like track? Do I like swimming? Maybe you like cycling. I don't know. All of those methods are beneficial. So the first thing we want to do is analyze, what things do I like? And the goal here really is, with every exercise life that you create, it's focused, and I recommend it be focused on building strength and building muscle. Because when we focus on these two things, specifically building muscle, it's going to benefit us in a greater way. And the reason we want to do this is because you're unique. If we can create and start focusing on things that bring excitement, that bring joy, that you are looking forward to doing, it's going to be more beneficial. Why? Because you're going to look forward to doing them. And that's really the key here. The reason most people fall off or don't do certain exercises or just don't live a life of exercise is because they don't like what they're doing. They believe that because somebody else is doing something, or because they think that you got to go to the gym to be able to just exercise and be healthy, and they don't like going to the gym, they think that's the only way to exercise. And that's really not the case. There are so many different ways. And when we start to identify what we like to do, then we can start building things around that. Because like I said, it's important to build muscle. Why? Because the more muscle we start to build, it starts to create different benefits for our body. Look, our body structure, our bones are held together by our muscles. And so the benefits of this is twofold here. One, it's going to give us a stronger posture. It's going to give us a stronger body. We're going to be able to be upright. We're going to be able to just have better resistance, be able to do more things, be able to take on certain things, have more resistance, have more resilience, have more energy, just be able to just be stronger in our body, which is important as we get older. Specifically, when you're getting older, and this goes for even within your 50s, it's still young, but as you start getting into the older ages, 50, 60, 70, what starts to break down is our body. And it's because our muscles become fragile, they become brittle, they're not as strong. They're not as dense, and they start to break down. And when that breaks down, it starts to impact our bones. It starts to impact our structure, which is why we'll start to see people hunching over. We'll start to see people getting more bone damages, bone defects. They start to get arthritis, osteoporosis, all of these things. But if we're now focusing on building muscle, and we're focusing on keeping our muscles strong, which is the strength piece, by focusing on making the muscle strong, building that muscle, it's going to help us as we progress in life. It's just going to make us better. One, it's going to be able, again, to just help us endure the things that happen in life as we age, but it's also going to protect us as we get older, right? And secondly, when we build muscle, it helps us stay lean. It helps us burn fat faster, actually. It helps us release weight faster because mass or muscle, holds more. It burns more calories at rest. It's denser, so it demands more energy, which is why when we look at men versus women, men tend to have the ability of releasing weight faster, and sometimes men tend to be a bit slimmer than women in certain situations, right? Because men have more muscle mass as it is, more muscle density than women do. So therefore, the ability for men and women, men can burn fat faster because of that, right? So building muscle is beneficial across the board. So when we're looking at creating our exercise routine, our exercise life, it's important to keep those things in mind. I want to be able to do things that are helping me build muscle and helping me build strength. And we can do that through different forms of it, right? We can do that through resistance band training. We can do that through body weight training. We can do that through actual weight training. We can do that through a combination of all of these, utilizing resistance bands with weights, with body weights. And then I also recommend that in that we also incorporate some type of cardiovascular exercise, because in that it also helps us to make our organs stronger. It helps us get our heart stronger. It helps us build our lungs to get stronger, to have more endurance, right? Now, cardio doesn't necessarily help us to release weight. Now, many fitness experts and many people are understanding that. And a lot of people now are understanding the truth behind that really cardio is really for cardiovascular purposes, for endurance purposes, for overall health purposes, but not necessarily to release weight. So now when we're incorporating both components, we're incorporating exercises that are helping me build muscle and build strength, and I have a cardiovascular routine in there. Now we're starting to create a very strong foundation that is helping us live a healthy life. My friends, this is the goal here. This is the objective here, right? So how do we now start crafting that? Well, look, after you analyze figuring out if you like CrossFit, then let's focus on some CrossFit exercises. The key here too is understanding how to work out, how to effectively do these ranges of motion and these exercise patterns, right? And for that, I recommend you reach out to an expert like myself, or maybe go to a local gym and find somebody that has knowledge and can help you go through learning how to do a squat, how to do a bench press, how to do a push-up, how to do some ab crunches, how to do lunges, how to do all of these exercises. And another recommendation that I have is that when we're looking at creating our exercise routine, the simplest and one of the best ways to get the best results and the best benefits, and that goes for strength-wise, muscle building-wise, and also the endurance side of things, but more importantly, also the benefits for longevity, is to focus on compound movements. A compound movement is one that incorporates more than one body part through a movement pattern, more than one muscle group through the exercise that is being performed. So for example, like a squat. When you do a squat, you're targeting 3 to 4 different muscles. You're targeting the quads, you're targeting the hamstrings, you're targeting the glutes, different muscles within the glutes, right? And you're also targeting even the core to hold yourself, your upright position, right? So these are compound muscles. They're compound exercises, sorry. The same thing like a push-up, right? Which is equivalent to a bench press. In that, what are you doing? You're working out your chest, which is your pecs, major and minor, right? And then you're also working out your shoulders and you're working out your triceps. So we're working out 3 different body parts. And also, not to mention, we're working on our scapular, right? In our back. As it's going through its motions, it's also utilizing it for stability. So we want to focus on compound movements, compound exercises. If you want more information about this, look, please drop in the comment section there. Any questions that you have about that, I'd be more than happy to answer that. Or you can also just Google this. Put in Google search compound exercises, compound movements. That would be lunges, squats, push-ups, bench press, right? That would be a shoulder press. I'll share with you a couple of these because now we'll be able to, towards the end of this, I'm going to literally give you 3 or 4 different examples that you can start doing yourself immediately and start designing this, right? So in this, as we're now getting familiarized with compound movements, the reason we want to start doing these compound exercises, same as compound movements, is because these are movements that we generally do every day. Sitting down on a chair is the same movement as a squat. Leaning over to pick up something off the floor is the same movement as a deadlift. Raising up our arms and grabbing something from the top is very similar to doing a shoulder press. Right? All of these are movements that our body is used to. So when we do these in the exercise range or in the exercise routine of our life, it's going to be very easy for our body to adapt to them. Why? Because we're used to doing these movements, my friends. That is the key here. So we want to keep it simple. We don't need to overcomplicate things. One disclaimer I want to say, if you are in an unhealthy weight, or if you find yourself just being overweight, you're a little heavier than you should be for your weight and for your size, your height, and your current age and weight, don't do plyometrics. Do not do anything that is jumping. Look, there's a lot of crazy exercises out there. Plyometrics, jump, box jumps, and different types of lunge jumps, and squat jumps with the rope, and squat jumps. All of those we want to stay away from because they put too much stress on our joints, right? We want to keep it simple, my friends. Look, I've been doing compound workouts for years, and I've always got incredible results. And when we look at the best of the best, the people that are living their healthiest and just at their strongest, they're focusing on the basics. So my friends, let's stick to the basics. Compound exercises, compound movements, and the next bit here is how many times should we work out? That is a big question that I get. Well, we want to keep this in an understanding of how our muscles work. When we're looking at wanting to get the best results, right? When we're wanting to get the best quality muscle or get the best physique or just feel the strongest and build the strongest muscle that we can, well, the recommended is twice a week at a minimum. And this is because of muscle protein synthesis. Well, what is that? Let's break this down really quick. Muscle protein synthesis, known as MPS, is a metabolic process that describes the incorporation of amino acids, meaning the things that help build our muscle, that keep our muscles, that feed our muscles, that help keep our muscles together, right? So when we're looking at, well, how or why should we work out twice a week? It is because 2 to 3 times a week with a more moderate volume, meaning we're keeping things moderate from 10 to about 15 reps, which will be a next topic that I want to break down for you. You will experience a greater degree of weekly protein synthesis per muscle group, and as a result, more optimal gains. Therefore, you are better served using a full body workout or an upper-lower split. Right? So when we're looking at, well, what is protein synthesis? Well, it's basically meaning that the development of your protein only lasts between 48 to 72 hours when you work out. The process of that, of breaking down, rebuilding, reshaping, basically recovering that muscle, only happens in the first 48 to 72 hours. So anything after that it's not happening anymore. The process of that muscle building is over because of this, right? Muscle protein synthesis. So keeping that in mind, the recommended for best results is to work out twice a week each muscle group. And the way we can effectively do that is like what I just read here, focusing on full body workouts or doing splits that are upper and lower, meaning I'm going to incorporate upper body workouts and then lower body workouts. Upper body, lower body, right? Because as we focus on that, what are we doing? Now we're targeting the upper body twice a week, the lower body twice a week, right? It's that simple, my friends. We don't need to overcomplicate it. And this could be, again, through body weight workouts, through resistant band workouts, or going to the gym, or a combination of all of them. While in between, also throwing in maybe going out to play basketball, maybe getting on the treadmill for the cardiovascular workout part, right? Exercise part. Maybe getting on the bike, on the stationary bike. Maybe doing the Stairmaster. Maybe going for a hike, going for a swim, going for a jog, going for a sprint, going for a run. All of these things is how we can easily simplify how to create our exercise routine. So now, as I come to towards the end of today's program, I want to just break down and give you some very basic examples on how you can do this. So, full body workouts can happen 3 times a week, right? That could be a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That could be a Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. We want to keep at least one in between a rest day because we are doing a full body. We want to rest in between one day to the next to allow our body to recover. The 48-hour mark, the 24-hour mark, you allow that to just recover. Then you can jump right back into that, right? So what could be some of the things that we do? Well, before we start doing any exercise, one thing we want to keep in mind is that we want to warm up. We never want to jump into something just cold because that's how we can start to get injured. Our body is strong, it's powerful, but we can break it down really fast if we're not warming up. So how do we do that? Well, before we get into an actual exercise, we want to do what's known as dynamic warm-ups. And you can look these up. Very simple. Dynamic just means in motion. That means I'm going to be moving my muscles or my body to warm it up. That could be high knees, that could be butt kicks, that could be arm raises, that could be some shoulder circles, anything that is in movement, in motion. Look them up. You can type in dynamic workouts. If you want some of them, reach out. You can drop in the comment section. I can send you a few to get you started. Then we start crafting our exercise routine, right? And this exercise routine, if we're looking at body weight, full body weight, well, the example can be like this. You can start with the dynamic warm-up, and that could be anywhere between, about 9 minutes or so. It doesn't have to be crazy. It's just to get the heart pumping, get the blood flow going, get the body nice and warm, nice and loose so that we can avoid injuries. And then from there, we can go into bodyweight squats, resistant band squats, or squats with dumbbells or barbell, right? Then we can do chest press. Then from there, we can do a deadlift. Then from there, we can do a band row, meaning a seated band row. And all of these, you can look them up if you're unfamiliar with them. Then we can go into lunges, and then followed by curls to a press. So this is a combination workout where we're going to be doing arms and shoulders in one movement. So these are some examples of what you can do. And all of these you can do from home. You can do them in a gym. You can do them in a park. You can do them anywhere you go, right? Again, resistant bands, body weights, or with actual physical weights, dumbbells or barbells, or even the machine, right? A squat would be similar to a leg press. So again, full body can be in this ratio. Now, what are some of the reps that you can do? Well, depending on what your goal is, you want to keep it moderate between 10 to 15 reps, keeping about 45 to 60 seconds in between each exercise. And one of the best ways to do it is to do these in a sequence that either you can do them all back to back, one after another, or you can break them down doing them each into sets. Recommended 3 to 4 sets, meaning you're going to do these exercises 3 to 4 times or 4 times, depending on where you're at, depending on how much time you have, depending on what your goal is. And then you want to do each exercise for 10 to 15 repetitions each time. So that would be 10 to 15 squats, 10 to 15 chest press or push-ups, 10 to 15 deadlifts, 10 to 15 band rows. You all get the idea with this, right? So this would be a really simple full body workout that you can do, and you can create that today. The next split that we could do, this would be a 4 times a week workout ratio. And here you could do an upper body and a lower body, right? So that upper body, and these would be splits, right? So you would do these Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. You have Wednesday in between to rest. Or you can do Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then you can start rotating that way, right? Always keeping that one day in between there, followed by the next 2 days resting. So that would give you your entire week, right? So again, I'm just going to give you a few of these. If you have more questions, let me know in the comment section. I am going to be, like I said, doing a part 2, really breaking this down to really show you. If you all want more insight about this, wait for the next couple of weeks on part 2. But as we're doing this upper lower split, you would be doing, one day we're doing upper, the next day we're doing the next day we're doing lower, and then upper and lower, right? So that would be your warm up the same way. You're doing the compound movements. So you're doing the chest press, the band row, chest flies is another one that you can incorporate. Underhand rows is another back movement that you can do. Curls to press is another, again, bicep to shoulder press. And then the rear delt flies. Again, pause it. You can write down these names. You can search them up. Look at how to perform these exercises and do them yourself. And then the lower body would be squat, a deadlift, a goblet squat, a lunge, and then a glute bridge. Right? So we're targeting all of the muscle groups there as we're doing these movements, right? And then we would do this Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. So this is a very simple way how we can start to incorporate. And what are we doing? We're literally hitting now each muscle group twice a week. So Monday, you could start with the upper. Tuesday, you can go to the lower body. You rest on Wednesday. Thursday, you go back to the upper body. And then the Friday, you go back to the lower body, right? And so now we're hitting each muscle group twice a week, hitting our muscle protein synthesis, allowing our body to respond better and give us the better results. Now, there are more technicalities in the sense of like, okay, well, what about if my body gets used to these? How can I start changing up the routine? Or how do I do so that my body doesn't get used to what I'm doing? How can I fluctuate that? Look, there's so much more that we can elaborate on this. And we can do that by changing the amount of reps, increasing the weight, changing the intensity, changing the order and how we're doing it. There's so many different ways. But right now, I want to just keep it simple to bring you to the basics. What am I trying to say here? The word here is a basic and effective, there it is, a basic and effective exercise routine is going to give us the results we need. So we want to keep it simple, and we want to keep the principle, which is the most important here, working out the muscles twice a week and utilizing the compound workouts to help us get the results that we desire. So, like I said, the fluctuation in terms of your repetition in the sets can vary. That could be between 3 to 4. You do this 3 to 4 times, and your reps can range anywhere from 10 to, at max, 20. Don't want to go any more than that, right? You can go up to 25 if you want, but nothing too more crazy than that. Because then we're having to reduce the amount of weight significantly, and it won't necessarily benefit us to build or get stronger, right? And then there's what's also known as hypertrophy, which is anywhere between 6 to 8 reps. That's really at its peak of trying to then build muscle. And then there are occasional times where you want to maybe focus on 1 to 3 reps when you're really trying to build strength. All of that is for part 2. I do want to introduce it because maybe you have these thoughts, you have these questions, and maybe you're already pondering on them. I can answer those. We can get to them in another episode. But today, my friends, I want to keep it so where you can really take action this year. Understand how you can start to create these exercise routines for yourself, where it doesn't have to be complicated, right? Because then you can even go on to have more fun if you want to do a push, pull, and then an upper and a legs, right? We've heard of push, meaning all the exercises that I am pushing in the movement pattern. And then there's pull, all the exercises that I am pulling. So for example, a push would be a push-up. A pull would be like a tricep extension, right? Or a hamstring curl. So there's creativity that we can keep going with this. But if we can keep it simple and start incorporating this and start crafting these exercises for yourself that you enjoy, we can start getting on track and on our way to building the life that we desire. My friends, that's it for today. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, or let me know what you thought about the program, about today's episode. Drop it there in the comment section if you're watching on my YouTube channel, and know that I'm here to support you. I want to help you. I want to facilitate any questions that you have and just bring answers. And we can do that here on this platform, or we can also do that via email by sending me an email to david@davidhernandez.co, david@davidhernandez.co. We can connect there and I can answer those questions. I have a resource that I would love to give away. It literally explains a lot of what I talked about. It is a 4 to 5 page document that I would love to share with you as a workout or exercise routine resource. If you would like that, drop in the comment section there. I want the resource and I will get that to you. Or you can also shoot me an email and I can get that to you. I want to bring value and help you. My goal is to help 1 million people live a life of freedom through health in a simple, smart, and sustainable way. And we can do that together. If we haven't connected on social media, let's do that. You can find me on all social media platforms under Dave K. Hernandez. Dave K. Hernandez. You can find it here on the screen. And let's connect that way. If you want to know more about how I can personally help you through my group coaching, through my one-on-one coaching, through any mentorship programs that I have, if you would like me to speak at an event, or want to learn more about corporate wellness and how we can incorporate it into your business or your company, let's have a conversation. I would love to connect. You can do that by going to my website, www.davidhernandez.co, davidhernandez.co, and we can connect there, have a conversation, and see how I can support you. That is my mission, and I want to achieve and fulfill that. If you haven't joined my community, every Friday I have free Friday trainings. Do that. You can find more information. There's a link in the description. Go ahead and click that link for more information on how you can join my community. My friends, I love you. Thank you so much for being a listener. Thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of your life. Thank you for being a part of my life. And know that I'm here to support you along your health and fitness journey. Thank you so much. Remember, you are incredible. You are listening to Listen, You're Not Defeated, and I'm your host, David Hernandez. I will see you on the next episode. Go out, crush it, and live your best life. Peace.